I'm recording now. Okay. That's okay. Oh, I didn't share the screen. Okay, very good. Okay, I think we can start. So, good afternoon, everybody. Okay, my name is Mohammed Mahmoud. You can call me Dr. Mahmoud. Okay, so I'm the instructor of 3130. So here, first of all, I want to tell you something. Yesterday, I sent an email to everybody. If you didn't receive this email, please let me know, because this means you are not in the mailing list. Okay, so just email me, and that's what I'm going to do this semester. I'm going to send you emails if I want to tell you something. I'm going to miss emails. Okay, so make sure if you didn't receive this email, email me back to add you to the mailing list. Okay. So here, this is the syllabus, or I call it chapter 0. It has some information about this course. So as I told you, I'm the instructor. Yeah, this is my Mohammed Mahmoud. Okay, and can you see here well, right? Or I can use laser. Okay, and this is my room number, Brown Hall 332. This is my email. This is my home page. In this course, we are going to have at least 2 TAs. Okay, I'm going to mention the names of the TAs. The TAs are going to take care of labs. They are going to help you on labs. Also, they're going to help you on grading and also projects. Okay, as you know, every week we have 2 lectures and 1 lab. The 2 lectures are going to be on Mondays and Wednesdays from 4 o'clock to 5:15. And it's going to be in this room, Foster Hall, 233. Okay. Labs are going to be here in this room, every Thursday from 4:30 to 7:15. Okay. So in the labs, as I'm going to explain later, in the labs, you can work in groups. Every group can have 2 students, at most 2 students. If you want to work, I think I have to be close to the mic. So if you want to work individually, I'm totally fine. Okay. Also, I like that you work in groups so that you can help each other, you can learn from each other. So I think it's important. But again, some students prefer to work individually. I'm totally fine. Okay. In the first labs, you are gonna use. 1 second. So in the first few labs, you're going to use your laptop. So every group should have at least 1 laptop. We are going to work on simulator, okay? But after 6 labs or so, you have to use this board, okay? So if you want to buy it, that's okay, but you don't need to buy it, because you can sign it out. So you can borrow it and then you can return it back to us. So again, in the first few labs, all what you need just to bring your laptop, okay? And we're going to work on simulator. Later, we're going to give you this board here. You can connect it and write your program, run it on the board here. Okay, that's clear. So I already created a website to this course. This is the website here. Also, it is, as I mentioned in my email, attending here in person is very strongly encourages. So I encourage you to attend here in person. However, if you have any problem, if you have COVID symptoms, so you can join us from home. And this is a link. So all the lectures, I'm gonna live stream them. Also, I'm going to record the lecture. I'm going to put them here in this playlist. Okay. So let me. Okay, let me. Sorry. Okay, let me go to the website here first. Oops. Okay, it's not. I can't click it. But anyway, I can tell you another way to go to my website. if you go to Google, if you can write my last name, and then you can write TN Tech. So this is just my last name and TN Tech. This is my website. So you can go to teaching. Under teaching here, you can look for 3130, this one. You can just click on fall 2021, very easy, right? This is the course website. I have a few, all the announcements, I'm gonna put them here. I already posted all the slides of all the chapters, okay? All of them are here. These PDF files, you need the password to open these files. I already sent you this password in the email, okay? Assignments are gonna post them here. Project, anything related to the project will be here. Same thing for labs, okay? We have other things here. I call it resources. I'm gonna talk about them later, okay? So this is for the website. Also, yeah, here, I told you this is a link you can use if you wanna join us remotely. But again, there should be a strong reason to do that, okay? And this is a YouTube playlist. I'm gonna put all the files there, okay? I have office hours here. If you need any help, just don't hesitate to come to me. Also, I strongly encourage you, if you have any feedback to improve this course, I will be happy to listen to you. Okay. I want you to enjoy this course. I want you to love this course. So if you have any opinion, any feedback, I did that in the past. Some students give me very good feedback, very good comments. Okay. And I use this comment to improve this course. Okay, so over several years. So same thing, if you have any opinion, help me improve it, let me know. Anyway, here I'm going to talk quickly about the prerequisite for this course. For sure, number one, I assume you know the number system, you know what is binary, what is hexadecimal, all these things. I will also make a revision, quick revision, maybe some of you forget them. Also, I know what logic, you know what logic gates, you know what is AND, what is OR, okay? Also, I'm gonna make a quick revision, but you should know it. For programming, you should know some programming concepts, okay? So what I mean by concepts, something like for loop, you should know what for loop means, okay? This is a basic programming concept, okay? I know some students at first told me they don't like programming. So I want to tell you, don't worry. In this course, you are not going to have extensive programming, okay? So it's going to be, I hope it will be easy, okay? So here, we're going to have 5 chapters. In the first chapter, I'm going to talk about the microprocessor architecture. Second chapter, I'm going to talk about assembly programming, okay? And then I'm going to talk about interfacing to microcontrollers. So microprocessor, interrupt, timer function, and pulse width modulation. Okay. So what this course is about? Okay, I'm going to tell you what this course is about. You know, under this one here, can you see this little chip? Yeah, there is a very little chip here. Okay. This chip, we call it microcontroller. Okay, and in this course, you'll understand. Microcontroller, do you mean microprocessor? No, they are different. So you will understand what I mean by microcontroller. Microcontroller is not a microprocessor, okay? You will understand it more. So all what we're going to do in this course, for sure you will understand some basic stuff, okay? Also, we are going to program this chip, okay? This microcontroller. And as you will see in this course, this chip is actually a computer system. Okay, this chip is a computer system, but it's a very little computer. Literally means, so I mean, why you call this chip a computer system? Because the architecture of this chip is similar to your smartphone. It's similar to your laptop. All of them have the same architecture. Okay, basic architecture. All of them are the same. All of them have microprocessor. All of them have memory, input-output devices. Okay, all of them execute programs. So this is like a computer. It's just you have a program and it actually executes programs. Okay. So, but using this small chip, you can make a system. You can make things smarter, as you will see. You got what I'm saying? because this is a very little chip. This is very cheap, maybe $10, $12, something like that. Okay, you can use it in a system or run a program to make things smarter. Okay, so what do you mean by smarter? I mean, if you have a sensor, you sense some information, you process this information using this computer, okay, and then you take action. Okay, and I'm sure all of you may have already heard about IoT, Internet of Things. Okay, that every device around you is a computer. Okay, so it has like a chip like this one. So you will see in this course how can we program this little computer. So the way you are gonna do it, I'm gonna teach your assembly, so you can program it using assembly. Also, you are gonna program it using C language. So both, okay, and you should learn both of them very well, because look, today is the first lecture. I'm gonna tell you about the final exam. In the final exam, I'm going to give you two questions, okay? Two applications, actually. One application, I'm going to ask you to program it in C language. Another application, I'm going to ask you to program in assembly. So you should learn both of them equally, C and assembly, okay? Anyway, here I listed the objectives of this course. So number one, you should learn some terminology in computer architecture, okay? So you will understand what registers, what flags, what do you mean by flags, what do you mean by addresses, what do you mean by memory. So these are terminology in computer architecture. Anyway, although this course is not a computer architecture course, it's a separate course, okay? So I'm not going to teach too much details. I'm going to give you enough details so that you can use assembly, okay? After that, you should learn how to program using assembly, C language. We have here a number of input-output devices, okay? Input-output device. What do you mean by input device and what do you mean by output device? Input of any device that microprocessor is going to read data from this device is called input, because this device is going to input data to microprocessor, okay? Or microcontroller. Any device that receives data from the microcontroller is called output. Okay, so here if you look at this board, this is output device, because microprocessor has to write something here to write something. Okay? Also, this segment output, this is LEDs are output, and so on. We have a buzzer here. This is a buzzer. It's going to make some sound. Okay, we're going to make some sound, some little music. If you can make alarm, you will see in this course how can we program it so that you can make alarm, like a police alarm, something like that. You can do that. Also, I'm going to see some project. Some students use it to make service, but for sure the quality of the service are not that good. Okay, but it's okay. You know what? Because it's a very simple device. Okay? So also we have a keypad here. So I'm gonna program. I'm gonna explain how can you program everything here. Okay. For sure, also you should understand interrupt service routine. How can you program it? What do you mean by interrupts? Why interrupt is a very good idea? Okay. The good thing about this course, everything I'm teaching here in this course, you have been using it for years and you don't know. Okay, I'm quite sure any computer system should have interrupts. I'm quite sure. Okay, any computer system should have a stack. Okay, so I'm again in this course, I'm going to explain what is a stack, why we need a stack, and so on. Anyway, here I want some students. So you are telling us you are going to teach both C and assembly. So what is the difference? For sure, you will know later the details. Okay, but for now I can tell you assembly is very detailed, details. Okay. Because you are using the machine language. Every instruction you write in assembly is going to be executed by the hardware. This is a hardware instruction. Okay, as you will see later, okay? You will fully understand it later. But C language is high level. So in order to use C language, you may not need to know the details. You want to turn the LED on just to call this function. Okay, what should happen in order to do that? The details are hidden. That's why C language is easy to program using C language, because one instruction in C language, you can break it down to 20, 30 instruction in assembly. You got what I'm saying? You will see it by yourself. C language, you can write a small number of instructions. In assembly, you have to write a lot of code. You got what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm going to give you details later. So someone can tell me, so C is better than assembly? The answer is not always yes, because as I'm going to explain later, in assembly, yes, you write a lot of code, but usually the assembly, the program is faster. You can run it fast than C. I'm going to give you details later anyway. And so again, some people can use C, some people are using assembly, but if you want to do like a very fast program, if you want to do something very fast, assembly, okay, is better. But anyway, I'm going to teach both of them here. In the project, I'm going to give you the freedom. So I'm going to tell you use any language, whatever you like, okay? In some labs, also I'm going to give you the freedom. Also in assignment. In assignment, sometimes I say use C for this problem, or use assembly for this problem. Or sometimes I say use C or assembly. So I give you the freedom. However, it's too risky to learn just one language. Some students did that. It's too risky. You just focus on one language and just ignore the other, because I told you the final exam is going to be 50-50, right? So if you focus only in one, I don't know, it's a final exam. I'm expecting that you learn both of them. Okay? This is the textbook we're going to use. However, it's up to you. If you want to buy it, you can buy it, but I don't think you need it, because you have very detailed slides, so you can study from the slides. Should be enough. Okay. Now I want to talk about the course evaluation. So we are going to have assignments, homework. Okay, this will be 10% of the final grade. I told you we're going to have a project. This project, it can be done individually or a group of 2. Okay, it's up to you if you want to make a group of 2 and you do a project. In very rare cases, okay, it was more than 2, but you need to justify. For example, I remember there was a big project, and they asked me, we are 4 students. I said it's okay because the project is big enough to be 4. Okay, so but normally it is individually or 2. Okay, the project is going to be 15%. Okay, guys, I believe that project is a very important part of this course. I believe the students can learn very well from doing good projects. Okay, so I want to encourage you to do good projects. Okay, that's why I'm promising, if you do good project, you can get up to 5% bonus, and this is not 5% from the 15%. It's 5% on the total. You know what I'm saying? So after I add everything together, okay, this course, for example, after I add everything together, you got each, for example, but you got bonus 5. So I'm gonna add 5 to the each, so it is on top of everything. So this is very important for sure. This can change your grade from one grade to another, can improve your grade. But anyway, I think it's important for your learning anyway. I'm gonna also, in order to encourage you to do good projects, I have YouTube channel. I took some pictures. I did some videos for the good project, and I'm gonna show you right now some of these projects. Okay. Anyway, labs. We're gonna have around 11 labs. Okay. They are gonna be 20%. Okay. For labs, as I'm gonna explain later, but I can say now, for labs, if you have to attend labs, if you don't attend a lab without taking a permission from me, without a strong evidence, okay. If you are too sick, for sure, I'm not gonna ask you to come here, okay. But if you have a strong reason and you can contact me, that's okay. Otherwise, we're gonna get 0 in the lab, okay. So you have to attend all labs. Quizzes, we're gonna have 15% for quizzes, almost every week on I do it in the labs. We're gonna have quiz every week, okay? At least in the first seven or 8 weeks, okay? So at the beginning of each lab, we're gonna have a quiz, okay? Tests, we're gonna have 2 tests, 15%, and the final is gonna be 25%, okay? Any questions? Anything is not clear? And I told you the final is gonna be only 2 questions, okay? Because every question is like application, okay? For example, I'm gonna tell you, use the keypad to get a number from the user, okay? And then use this number if I ask you to program like a security system, okay? This number is the PIN number. If the PIN number is false, right here, you are not authorized to open the door, for example, okay? If the PIN number, and then turn the sound on. If the number is correct, so please open the door, okay? So application like this, okay? So I'm gonna have 2 questions, 2 applications. One, I'm gonna ask you to do it in C. One, I'm gonna ask you to do in assembly. Any question here before I move forward? Anything is not clear? Okay, guys. Okay. The good thing here, everything is gonna be open book. Okay. You don't need to memorize any instructions. Okay. So you don't need to memorize any instructions. All what I'm gonna do, you can have all the slides, you can have all your assignment, all your labs, anything written, it's okay, you can have it, okay? So I don't want you to memorize anything. All what I need you to do, if you have this material and I give you a problem, can you solve it or not? Okay, that's what I care about. Okay? So you don't need, however, electronic devices are not allowed. So it's not allowed to use like anything that can be connected to the internet. Okay? Also, I want to say something very important here. Sometimes students confuse between, because I encourage collaboration in this in this course, especially in the project. In the project, I'm telling you to have to work with your partner. Okay, same thing for labs. I'm totally fine with that. However, so in labs, you need to submit only one report with your partner. Is that okay? So you work together, you submit one report. For projects, okay, only one report as well. So you work together, submit one report, okay? However, homework is different. Homework is individual. Is that okay? So you shouldn't work with someone else. You have to work on it individually. Yes.
Do we get to choose our lab partners?
Yeah, sure. I'm not gonna enforce you to take a certain person. No, you can select your partner. I'm totally fine. Okay. Here I'm just giving you some advice. If you wanna do well, and I wish you understand this course. I wish you like this course. I wish you do very well in this course. It's very important to attend the lectures and labs, okay, to understand this course. So also class participation here, your input. If you have any question, don't be shy. Again, I'm saying very clear statement, okay? We here, I mean myself, and we are gonna have at least 2 or 3 TAs. We are here to help you, okay? So don't be shy. Anything I can do to help you, I will do it, okay? This is my job, okay? So don't be shy if you need any help. Or if you can have any input, if you have any question, just raise your hand and ask me any question, okay? Very important to understand the slides, the lecture assignments, okay? Very important, very important, do homework and labs by yourself, okay? Look, very frankly speaking, okay? Some students copy labs, copy. For sure, if I can catch something like that, I'm gonna take action, sure, right? But you're gonna hurt yourself, because if you don't do the labs and homework by yourself, maybe you are gonna cheat us, you are gonna get some grades, maybe, but for sure you are not gonna understand this course and you are not gonna do well in the exams, okay, guys? So very important to do them by yourself. Again, if you need any help, you are here to help you. For sure, it's important to be on time. It's important to turn in labs and homework. Again, what I'm saying here, you should focus here in this class. Any question, you raise your hand. I already posted all all the slides. I think it's a very good idea if you can somehow print them, or you can take notes somehow. Okay, so because look here, when you read the slides, you may not understand it completely. Okay, so that's why you maybe after explaining, you need to write something. Okay, some notes. So it's a good idea to write these notes. If you need any help, it's your responsibility. Okay. The most important thing here, guys, look here. This is the nature of this course. So the nature of this course, what I'm going to teach you today in lecture 1, I'm going to use it in the last lecture. This is how it is. This is how the course is. Okay. So in every lecture, I'm gonna use what I explained in the last lecture. You get what I'm saying? So please, so if you don't study this course, or you can actually create a gap. You create a gap because I'm explaining something you are not understanding it because it's related to something I already explained before. Okay, so this is also very important because some classes may not be like that. Some classes, even if you don't study a chapter, may not affect others. Sometimes, okay, but here it's not like that. Again, if you want to read the slides before you come, that's also a good idea. Just read it quickly. The topic before I teach it, just read it quickly. It's a good idea. Anyway, the last thing here, which is very, very, very important. Listen to me, okay? Not all quizzes, not all labs have the same weight because the difficulty is not the same. You got what I'm saying? So some quizzes have more weight than others. Some labs have more weight than others, especially the first labs are easy, may not have the same weight like the labs at the end of the semester. Is that okay, guys? Same thing for assignments. You have to be smart here, okay? So you have to try. You have to try to get as many marks as you can, because maybe you skip one lab, but the weight of this lab is like 2 labs from the beginning. You got what I'm saying? And make it clear. Everything I'm gonna put the grade for everything. Okay, you will see the full mark. I think that's what I have here. Also, all the files are protected using password, but some students don't like every time you want to open the file just to type the password. Some students don't like that. So after you download the file, you can actually cancel the password. How can you do that? That's what I'm explaining here. Okay, guys. So first download the file, type the password for the first time, okay, and then cancel it. After that, you can just open it without a password. Okay? To do that, you can click here on File, Properties here, and then here you can select this one, No Security. So here you can select here Security, and then No Security here, and then OK, and then you save the file. Okay. I want to tell you something quickly. Some versions of Adobe Acrobat, you may not be able to see this one. So some student came to me before and told me, look, you are telling us you can cancel the password, but look, it doesn't work. Okay, but because in some versions of Adobe Acrobat, you may not have this one security here. So you have to select. You have to select the version that has this enable you to cancel the password. Okay. Anyway, the last thing I want to do here, as I told you, I already here, I told you we are going to have YouTube. You are going to have YouTube channel here. I created this playlist just yesterday or the day before. So it's empty right now. So if you open it, you will find it empty. But I'm going to add, so every time I teach lecture, I'm gonna add to this list. So let me see here. Let me open it again. Yeah, so this is the playlist, it's empty right now. Okay. So I'm gonna add to it later. This is one thing. The other thing is already here in this link, I bought the good project I told you about. Also for this course, we have several videos. I'm gonna use these videos in teaching. Okay, so when I teach something, I want to show you something. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the video just to understand it. Okay, so I put them here. So let's go to quickly. I'm not going to spend much time on this one. But again, these are very good projects. Some students did before. You can look at this project. I really want you to do good projects, and I put it here. I want, because in the future I can encourage also. I can use it like what I'm doing right now. I can use it in the future to encourage students also to do good projects. So I can go quickly through some of them. Okay. So here, for example, here this student is controlling the arm. Okay, let me run it. So what happens here, you can see this board. This board is here right there. Okay, he's using the board to control this arm. Okay, and the interesting part here is using a smartphone. You can see we have some motors here, stepper motors here, and he is controlling it using his phone. Okay, so using Bluetooth. Okay, so he's using his phone as you see here, and he remotely controlling it. Okay, so you can see, you will see the phone here. So moving this way and then click it and move it this way. Very interesting project. Okay, using the phone here. Okay, this is interesting one. I don't know. I have several good ones here. No, let me see this one.
Most left switch here, and then electron control red, green, blue, and speed. And RGB is in standstill mode. We'll go out in red. You get some pretty creative points.
Okay, let me go. I'm not gonna go through all. Yeah, this one's very interesting. This is a Bluetooth, so you can communicate using Bluetooth. And this is like a maze. So this car is moving. It's trying to get out using these lines. So the board is communicating with the car using Bluetooth, wireless, using Bluetooth, using this Bluetooth here. So you are solving a maze. Okay. Also other things. Let me see if some. Yeah, this one is very interesting. I like it. What we did, what the student did here. Look. Okay, let me explain what they did before I show you. So they put here a sensor, ultrasound sensor. This you will see it right now. This ultrasound sensor. Okay, it's used to measure distance. This is how robots move. This is one way we use robot to move. So it's actually, if you have a sensor transmitter, you transmit a sound. This sound is going to hit object and come back to you. And then, as I'm going to explain this course, you measure the time, how much time it took to go, and hit the object and come back. Once you have this time, you can calculate the distance. Okay, what is the distance to the closest object? Okay. So what they did here, this is normal, just you measure the distance. This is normal, okay? And then I told you we have here a buzzer. This buzzer can make sound. So what they did, as you will see right now, so this is assume this is the ultrasound, okay? So you are gonna measure the distance from here to the object, okay? And based on this distance, they are gonna run a certain tune here on this one. So you're gonna make like a piano. You will see like a piano, very interesting. So if I put here, you run a tune. If I move it, another tune. So it's gonna be like a piano. Every time you move here, you run different tunes. Okay, very interesting. Okay, you see it. I like this idea.
So what we have here is.
So this is what I told you guys. This is the ultrasonic transmitter and receiver. Okay, this is a sensor. You transmit a signal, it hits object and come back. So one transmitter, one receiver. Okay, this is used if you want to measure a distance to the closest object. Okay, and then after measuring the distance, they are gonna run here in this buzzer a certain tune.
An ultrasonic sensor, which is going to emit a signal, and when it hits the object, it will come back. It will read the time that it took to come back and display the distance. See now it's showing the distance that it was. And while it is button, it will begin to play the sound that corresponds with the distance. So now it's playing at a group. Sure, it plays different notes. See that's E4. Go all the way out.
Different tunes. Can you hear the different tunes? Very, I like it.
You can pause the sound at any time with this button and turn the system off for pH 0, and it shows the distance the entire time.
Also, these two students are among the best students I had. Actually, they also did something very interesting here. This car, same thing. It has ultrasound transmitter and receiver. And this car is navigating autonomous by itself. So they don't control it. Anyway, I'm not gonna go see. Here they are explaining what they did. Yeah, here. Okay, sorry. Another video. They don't control it. It's not remotely. You understand what I'm saying? So this is different from controlling arm. Okay. So this car can make the decision by itself. Just measure this distance and then move. For sure, it's not perfect, but that's okay. It's just a project, course project. Should be okay. So the ultrasound is here. Okay. The ultrasound sensor. The board is here. We put the board here. Okay. Anyway. I think that's enough. I don't want to, I like this project. I don't want to spend much time. You can, for sure, you can. This is also a really very good one. No, this water drops is also a good one, but I think about. Okay. Anyway, you will see this project. They are actually. Yeah. I think there was game. Yeah, I think this is a game. Yeah, this also very. This is a game. No, not this one. There was a game, but anyway. I think not this one. Not this one. This anyway. Yeah, Sorter is looking for this one. Yeah, just like a snake, I guess. Okay. So this is an LED. This LED matrix, as you see here, it's like a matrix, and every LED can turn one of three colors or different colors. So everyone here can turn it different color. I was talking about this is a sorter. This sorter was an interesting one.
Microfibers. So microfibers is holding our cups that were stored in. So the basic premise for this using that value to sort it and to move our little turntable, we have it hooked up to a servo motor this time. Okay.
No, sorry, this is not the one I mean. You will find it here. I'm sorry. So there was like a sensor. This sensor can sense the color. Okay, so you have like candy. This candy has different colors. Okay, and then you have a sensor. This sensor is gonna take one candy. It's gonna, and then based on the color, it's gonna put it in one cup. Okay, based on the color. Okay, and it has a sensor. This sensor can sense. You'll find it here anyway. Anyway, I don't know, but some really projects are really, yeah, this candy sorter, that's what I was looking for, I guess.
Hey guys, I just wanted to showcase the current state of the color sorter, skinny box, sensor.
Look here, based on the color, it's gonna put it,
Box,
look,
gonna move the box over the grass. Then.
it's a different color, it's gonna put it in the other one, as you see here,
Sensor.
because they have a sensor. The sensor here, this sensor can sense the color. This one here can sense the color. And then your program, after sensing the color, your program can decide put it here or there. Is that okay? The last thing I want to show it to you here, I told you we can use this buzzer to make some kind of music. Okay. It's like I bought.
So we have a guy that keeps track of which screen is on, which songs is displaying about it. And so we create the songs in that system, and then now we scroll right past that system or back to the first page. We count it, all these stuff to the calendars.
Also, they run. Can you see the LEDs as well? So they are using the LEDs here, also and also the buzzer. Okay. Anyway, I think that I don't want to spend. We have very good projects. I encourage you to look at these two projects, very good ones. Okay. I don't want to spend more time on this. You already have all these projects, but at least you get some idea about what I'm going to teach in this course. Okay. I'm going to teach how can you use this keypad in your program. How can you write something here? Okay. How you run the buzzer. Okay. If you have a sensor and you connect it, how you use it, because actually what every project here, this is a system, like a small computer. Why are you saying this is a computer? Because this one has a program and you execute the program like your laptop, like your smartphone, same thing. Okay? But keep in mind, this program is a very simple program. That is why this chip, it doesn't have a very large memory like your smartphone. The processor is not very fast like your laptop. You get what I'm saying? Because on your laptop, you can run MATLAB. You get what I'm saying? But on this one, I'm not going to run MATLAB. I'm going to run a simple program. You get what I'm saying? So that's what you should keep in mind. Anyway, yes.
I noticed, at least for the quads and stuff like that, some of these projects, parts are kind of expensive. Will we provide it?
That's a very good question. Yes, some devices or some devices I already have in my lab, so I can give it to you. That's fine. You can borrow and you return it back. Okay. But some devices I don't have it. So in this case, if you don't afford to buy these devices, in this case I go to the department and see if they have money. But I can tell you, most of these projects don't need much money as you think. It's not much. Okay. But anyway, we have here wireless Zigbee. You know, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Zigbee. We have here Zigbee. We got chip, so I can give you these chips. I already have it. So regarding this point, in your project, if you want to get something, if you need any device, ask me first. You got what I'm saying? And if it is in my lab, I'm gonna give it to you, right? The ultrasound transmitter and receiver we have some of them. You got what I'm saying? Also, we have some chip to connect for Wi-Fi, so you can connect this one to the internet using Wi-Fi. We did it before, and so. Okay. But anyway, any questions? I think that's enough. I need now. Any question, guys? Okay. So I'm gonna start chapter 1. Chapter 1. Chapter 1 is about microprocessor architecture. Okay, so I'm gonna start teaching it. So you already have here. I have my handwriting here. Don't be confused. I have my handwriting. Also, you have the slides. You have both of them. Okay. So both of them are the same, but whatever you like, you have both of them. So I'm going to use my handwriting here. So in the first part I'm going to do here, I'm going to make a very quick revision on number systems. Okay, the systems for the numbers, very quick revision. Okay, so as you know, we have different systems for numbers in our daily life. We use decimal. Is that right? So when you buy something, when you sell something, okay, we use decimal numbers 0, 1, 2, 3 until 9. It's a system we like, we use, humans are using, right? So in the decimal system, we have digits 0, 1, 2, 3 until 9. Is that right? That's what we do. Okay. This is for humans. This system, who is using this system? Humans. Only humans. It's just for us. You got what I'm saying? And we have another system for numbers. We can represent any number using any system, right? Any one of these systems. We have also another system, binary system. In binary system, as you know, we have 2 digits, 0 and 1s. Okay. Someone can ask me, why we need the binary system? Why? Who is using the binary system? Short answer, computers. That's it. Okay. So computers, any digital system only use binary numbers, 0 or 1s. Okay. Any digital system, any computer, your program, your pictures, videos, everything, 0s and 1s. Is that okay? Programs, 0s and 1s, and that's what you're going to see in this course. So everything, computers can only do operations 0 and 1s. Okay. So after you write an instruction, this instruction has to be converted to a bunch of 1s and 0s. And then once I have this bunch of 1s or 0s, the hardware is going to do this instruction. So the instruction is addition. The hardware is designed, as you would see in this course. Once the hardware gets this one bunch of 1s and 0s, it's going to do addition. Got what I'm saying? I have to make it very clear. Computers can only use binary numbers as data or as instructions. Everything inside the computers are binary. Is that clear? I think very clear. Okay. Decimal is only for humans. Is that okay? It's like two different persons are speaking different language. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm speaking English, you are speaking, for example, Chinese or French. Is that okay? So when I talk to you, we need to have like a translator, interpreter in middle between us. Is that okay? Same thing here. If I want to send a number to the computer, I have to send it in decimal, but computers don't understand decimal. You got what I'm saying? That is why I have to write a program to convert your decimal number to binary so that computers can process the binary numbers. Is that okay? Clear? Same thing in the other way. If computer did a certain operation and the result is binary, right? I'm not going to give you the result in binary because you're not going to understand it. You got what I'm saying? So also, I have to use a program to convert this binary to decimal. Is that okay? Very clear, right? So what I'm saying in this course, we are going to need binary because this is the only thing computers can understand. Like, okay, the only thing. Also, we need decimal because this is what humans are using. Very clear, right? Also, in this course, we are going to use hexadecimal. Okay. First, let me tell you what is hexadecimal. As you know, in hexadecimal, we have digits from 0 to 9, and then 10 is A, B is 11, okay, and C is 12 until F is 15. So in hexadecimal, the digits we have from 0 to 15, we have 16. That's why it's called hexa. Hexa means 16, right? Binary means 2, 0 and 1. So we have 2 digits, right? And so on. So that's what we have here 16 digits. Any number, I can represent any numbers using these digits from 0 to F. Is that okay? You are familiar with it. So, as you know also, if I want to convert one digit from hexadecimal to binary, the way we do it here, look here, guys. 0 is going to be 0, 0, 4 zeros in binary. This is hexadecimal, this is binary, right? 1 is going to be 1, 0, 0. F is going to be 1, 1, 1. Is that okay? As I'm going to say later, and also as you know, if you have 4 bits, these 4 bits can represent numbers from 0 to 15. And that's all what I need for hexadecimal. Because hexadecimal, in hexadecimal, I have numbers from 0 to 15. That's why every number here is represented by 4, not 5, not 3, that's before, right? Because we have from 0 to 15. Anyway, so someone can ask me now, okay, we have only 2 players here. We have humans and we have computers, okay? Computers are using binary, humans are using decimal. So why you need hexadecimal in this course? Is that okay? Who's using the hexadecimal? Okay, number one, no one is using hexadecimal. Is that okay? So, however, why you are using hexadecimal here in this course? Simply because it's very easy to convert hexadecimal to binary or binary to hexadecimal. Very straightforward, very easy, as you will see. Okay. So if I have a binary number and I want to give you a binary number, okay, so I want to give you a binary number. And instead of giving you a binary number, I'm going to give you hexadecimal number. Why? Because they're almost the same. Okay. Number 2 is shorter representation. Shorter. Why shorter? Because every 4 in binary is going to be represented by one number, 1 digit in hexadecimal. So it's shorter. Okay. Number 2, it's easy for us to remember, right? You can remember 3A, F2, easy to remember. But if I convert it to binary, can you remember 10110011? It's going to be too difficult, right? So what I want to say is, no one, I want to make it very clear, no one is using hexadecimal, okay? However, if I want to get you for human, only for us, it's more convenient for us, okay, to work in hexadecimal than to binary. Is that okay? So hexadecimal is shorter representation, easy to convert binary to hexadecimal, hexadecimal to binary. As it's more convenient to humans to use hexadecimal than binary. Okay. For example, listen to me here, guys. As I'm going to explain later, if this is a memory, and in the location number 1000, this is the location, I store this number 3A. Listen to me. So later in this course, if I tell you in this location in the memory, I store the number 3A. Okay, guys? Actually, I'm not storing 3A. Actually, I'm actually storing 0011 1010. Is that right? But I'm not going to give you this one. I'm going to just tell you 3A. You got what I'm saying? But physically, what we store there is just 001 1010. Is that okay? Because we agreed everything here in this system is binary. Okay? But just it's more convenient to you. Okay? When you look at the number, just to see it, 3A is much more convenient than using this one. Is that okay? So please don't be confused. When I tell you in this memory location, we store 3F or F2, okay? That doesn't mean physically we store F2, right? I convert it to hexadecimal because it's just more convenient for us. Is that okay? Clear? Yeah, very difficult to work on binary 0101. It's very difficult, right? Even very difficult to remember the number. So hexadecimal is much better. Okay. Now, again, so the reason we're going to use hexadecimal, number 1, because it's shorter representation, easy, more convenient for us, easy to memorize. Okay. So why it is easy to convert hexadecimal to binary? I'm going to tell you. So here, look here. In this table, this is like a table. Every digit has 4 bits here, right? Every digit here has 4 bits. All what you have to do to convert hexadecimal to binary, just every digit here, replace it with this 4 bits. That's it. Very simple. That's why I told you. To me, if you give me the number in hexadecimal, it's almost the same like give me the number in binary because it's very close to each other. Anyway, so for example, if I give you this number F0 and this number is hexadecimal, and I ask you convert it to binary, very trivial, very easy. Look, this F, I'm going to replace it with 111 because every digit, as you see here, every digit has 4 bits. I'm gonna just replace it with the 4 bits. That's it. So here F means 15, which is 111, 4. 0 means 00, which is 4. Okay, very easy. So if you want to convert hexadecimal to binary, every digit you have to replace it with the corresponding 4 bits. So every 1 by 4 has to be 4. Is that okay? This is one thing. Now, how can you do the opposite? If you have a binary and you want to convert it to hexadecimal, how can you do that? Okay, very easy. I'm going to do the opposite. Number 1, from right to left, not left to right, right to left. From the right, you have to make group of 4. From right, you have to make group of 4. Okay, so here this is a number I want to convert to this number. Okay, so here 1 bit, 1 bit, 1 bit. This is 4. And then 111 is 15, which is F. So I'm gonna split the binary number into 4s. 4 bit, 4 bit, 4 bit, 4. Okay, right to left. Okay. What if you don't have here numbers? So you cannot make group of 4. So this is 4, and then I have 2. Just put zeros, because zeros on the left are not gonna change anything. You got what I'm saying? Clear? I'm not sure this one is working. Just to put zeros. Okay, guys, to make group of 4. So you should have group of 4. Okay, so for example, yeah. So for example, if you have 0, 0, 1, or sorry, 1, 0, for example, 0, and then I have here 1, 1, 0, or 1, 1, for example. If I have something like that, okay, from right to left, you have to make group of 4. So this is one group. And then I'm going to add 2 zeros here to make another group. Okay, and this is number 1, so it should be 1. And this is number 3, should be 3. So this should be 31 hexadecimal. Okay. Okay, guys, any questions? It's very easy. Right to left, make group of 4, and then for every 4, convert. You should know this table. If you convert hexadecimal to binary, so every digit here, you are going to convert to this one. If you are doing the opposite, so you are going to take this 4 and put the equivalent digit. Is that okay? Very easy, right? Anyway, now let's come to another concept, another point. Look here, guys. If I tell you I have 10 apples in my office, for example, or I have 10 apples. So how many apples do you think I have? How many apples? Actually, there are 3 answers, and the 3 answers are correct, right? If this 10 is binary, so that means it's 2. So you have 2 apples, 2, right? If this is hexadecimal, so that means it is 16. So I have 16 apples. Does that make sense? Okay. If 10, this one is decimal, that means it's 10. Is that okay? So now the answer can be 2, 16, or 10. Why? Because this number can be binary, can be hexadecimal, and can be decimal. And you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me which system you are using. Is that okay? That's why we're not going to do it this way. What we're going to do, you have to tell me which system. Okay? Because 10 can mean 2, can mean 16, can be 10, can mean different things. Okay? That's why we're going to use a prefix, as you will see in this course. If you use a $sign, and that's what we're going to do. Okay, guys? If you use a $sign here, that means you are telling me this number is hexadecimal. Is that okay? If you use percent, this means it is binary. Okay? If you put nothing here, that means you are telling me this is decimal. If you put nothing. Okay, guys? That's what we're going to do in assembly. What we're going to do in C, we're going to use different symbols in C. But the same concept, the same idea. Even for other language, if you go to Java or Python or whatever, maybe they are using different symbols, right? But anyway, you have to use a prefix. You have to tell me what this system is. I cannot guess it. Okay. Sometimes sometimes you can guess by the way. But not always. For example, if I tell you, for example, F2, you don't need to think about it when I tell you F2, right? Because it cannot be binary, right? When I tell you F2, this one cannot be binary because F or 2 are not in binary, right? It cannot be decimal because decimal does not have F, so it has to be hexadecimal. Okay. But it may be other systems because we're not only limited to these 3 systems. We have other systems. So anyway, you should. But in this course, we're going to only use these three systems. You have to put the prefix here to tell me. I'm not going to guess. You have to tell me. Okay? This is one thing. Any questions? Okay. Now, I want to explain how can you convert binary numbers to decimal. I already explained how can you convert hexadecimal to binary or binary to hexadecimal. Now I'm going to explain how can you convert binary numbers to decimal. Sorry, I explained how can you convert hexadecimal to binary, binary to hexadecimal. I'm not sure if I said it correctly or not, but anyway. But now I'm going to explain how can you convert the binary to decimal and decimal to binary. Okay, so listen to me. So now, I'm not going to continue teaching until 7:15. So I'm going to give you rest in the middle. Okay? Yes, no, I said it incorrectly. I'm going to teach until 7:15, but not continuously. I'm going to give you break in the middle. Okay? So anyway, because I need, in order to start the first lab on the coming 30 day, I have to finish a certain part. So anyway, so now, if you want to convert the binary numbers to decimal, okay, guys, there are 2 cases. This number can be unsigned or it can be signed. What is the difference between unsigned and signed? You can tell from the English name, it's not difficult, right? Unsigned, it means this number can be 0 or positive, but it cannot be negative, right? Because it is unsigned. Is that okay? Signed means this number can be positive, can be 0, can be negative. Is that okay, guys? The way we convert unsigned numbers is different from the way we convert the signed numbers. So that's why if you give me a number, you have to tell me first this number signed or unsigned, okay? Because the conversion, the way you are going to convert it is different. Okay? So let's look at the unsigned numbers first. If your number is unsigned, I give you binary number and I tell you this number is unsigned. How can you convert? Very easy. So what you learned before, every digit here has a weight. You remember 2 to 0, 2 to the power 0. So the weight of this digit is 2 to the power 0, 2 to 1, 2 to 2, 2 to 3, 2 to 4, 2 to 5, 2 to 6, 2 to 7. This is the weight of each one here. Okay? This is the weight. Okay? By the way, even in decimal number, we use the same weight in decimal number. Okay, I can tell you. For example, if I have $207, okay? So this is dollar. Okay, so I have $207, okay? So the weight of this 2 is different from the weight of this 7, right? Because this one in dollars, this one in hundreds. Okay, even in the decimal number also we have weights, right? Same thing here. But here the weight is 2 to 0, 2 to 1, 2 to 2, 2 to 3, 2 to 4, and so on. Okay. So all what you have to do, I'm gonna multiply this digit by the weight. So 2 to 0 multiplied by 1. And then I'm gonna multiply 1 by the weight. And then I add everything together. If I do that, the result should be 255. So if I want to convert this number 8 once, so the result should be 255. Is that clear? Okay, guys, very easy, very trivial. So if I give you a binary number and I tell you this number is unsigned, all what you have to do, you have to multiply the weight by 1 or 0, whatever there. By accident here, all of them are ones. But in reality, if one of them 0, you're going to multiply by 0. Okay. Anyway, any questions? This is if it is unsigned. Okay. Now, if it is signed, the way, as I told you, the way of the conversion is different. Okay. So now you have to know, is this number is positive or negative? Someone is asking me before, what do you mean by this symbol? Here I mean by this one positive, and this means negative. Okay, just in case you don't know what it means. Okay. So anyway, so if the number is positive or negative, because the way we convert it is different. Okay, so if I give you a number and I tell you this number is signed, okay, number one, you have to see if it is positive or negative. Okay, so how can you know if I give you a binary number? How can you know this number is positive or negative? How can you know? I'm going to tell you how. You have to look at the last bit on the left, this one here. This one, as I'm going to explain later, we call it the most significant bit on the left, not right. Okay, so the last one here in the left. Okay, if the last bit here on the left here is 0, that means this is a positive number. If the last bit here is 1, that means it is a negative number. Very easy, right? So if you give you a number and I tell you this number is signed, just look at the last bit in the left here. Okay, if it is 0, positive, 1 is negative, right? If it is unsigned, don't think about it. It cannot be negative. It's unsigned, right? If it is unsigned, it cannot be negative. So don't think about it. Okay. So now, if it is okay, now you are telling me, you give me a number, you tell me this number is signed. I want to convert it to decimal. Okay. So number one, you have to check is this number is positive or negative from the last bit. Okay. If it is positive, how I can convert it if it is positive? The way you are going to convert it, if it's positive, it's going to be the same way like unsigned. So for example, if I give you this number, 1111000, okay? And then I ask you to convert this number and I tell you this is a signed number, okay? So the way you are going to convert it is going to be the same like this one, 220, 221, 222, and adds everything together. The result is 15. Is that okay? It's the same way. So the way we convert an unsigned numbers, it's the same way we convert to positive signed numbers. Is that okay? Negative is different. Negative is different. That's what I'm going to explain now. Okay. Now, what if the number is negative? How I convert it? So I give you a number and I tell you this number is signed, and you find it is negative, and you want to convert it to decimal. Okay. How can you do that? Okay, I'm going to explain to you how right now. But before I explain to you how we need to agree on several things, let's agree on this. Look here, guys. If you have first, you know when I say byte, I mean 8 bits. Let's agree on this, okay? When I say a word, I mean 16 bits. Is that okay? Okay. That's what we are gonna need most of the time in this course. Most of the time, your data can be a byte, okay, which is a block of 8 bits. Or it can be a word, which is a block of 16 bits. This is your data. This is the motor speed. This is the distance, whatever. Okay. This is the temperature. When you measure the temperature, you have to. This is your data, whatever the data is. Okay. It can be a byte or it can be a word. That's what we're going to use here in this course. Okay. So one more thing we should agree on: if you have a number like this one, the first bit on the right, we call it least significant bit, LSB, least significant bit. And the bit here on the right, we are going to call it most significant bit, MSP. Is that okay? It's not difficult. Just think about it. Look at the English name. This is the least significant, this is the most significant, right? Why? Because this one has the least weight and this one has the most weight. Easy, right? Yeah, because the weight here is 227. That's why I call it most significant. Important, significant, right? But this one, the weight least significant, the least weight is here. Is that okay? So from now on, I'm not going to explain anymore. I assume you understand when I say the least significant bit, you understand what I'm saying. When I say the most significant, you understand what I'm saying. So I'm not going to explain it again. Okay? Any question? Okay. So let me say again. Here in this course, you have data. Your data can be a motor speed. For sure, it depends on what you mean. It can be temperature, it can be number of cars, and so on, whatever you are doing. So this data means something, okay? This data can be a byte or it can be a word. That's what we're going to use, okay? One more thing here. A word, as I said, a word is 16 bit, or a word is actually 2 bytes. 2 bytes, okay? So this is a word. So we have 8 bits here and we have 8 bits here. Total, we have 16 bits. 16 bits, okay? So 1 byte here and 1 byte here. 2 bytes, okay? Look here, guys. The first byte here, I'm going to call it the least significant byte. The second byte here, I'm going to call it most significant byte. Also the same idea, because this one comes in the first, the weights are least significant, and the other one, the weights are most significant. So from now on, you should understand, if you have a word, and I tell you the most significant byte or the least significant byte, you should understand what I say. Is that okay? Any questions? Okay, easy, right? Anyway, as I told you, if you have a binary number like this one, and I tell you this number is signed, okay? So all what you have to do, you have to look at this bit, the most significant bit, right? The most significant bit, by the way, let's agree also with this. Listen to me. So if you have a byte, so how many bits you have? You have 8 bits. So the first one here, I'm gonna say bit number 0. So the last one should be bit number 7. We count from 0 to 7. Is that okay, guys? So when I tell you bit number 0, I mean the first one. That's what I'm gonna do in all these course. Okay. So if you have a word, so this is bit number 0, and the last one is bit number 15. A word. Is that okay? So here, the most significant bit is bit number 7. Here, the most significant bit is bit number 15. Is that okay, guys? Okay. One more thing, very important. Don't confuse yourself. Listen to me. This is one information. So this point is one information. I couldn't break it down. It doesn't mean anything. Okay. Same thing here. This is one piece of information. Temperature, voltage, pressure, whatever. Can I say? If you break it, it means nothing. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same thing. For example, if I tell you I have $10,000 in the bank, or 10,720. That's what I have in my bank account. If you cut it into 2 pieces, what it means? It means nothing. You got what I'm saying? It's one piece of information. Anyway, you should understand this one, because this is 2 bytes. Yeah, they are 2 bytes, but that doesn't mean it's 2 information, 2 different data. No, it's just one piece, pressure, voltage, whatever. You cannot split it together. But anyway, so is that clear now what I mean by? So if the number is a byte, you have to look at bit number 7. If bit number 7 is 1, it means it is negative. If it is 0, it is positive. Okay. If it is a word, if you have a word, you have to look at bit number 15, the most significant bit. Same thing. If it is 1, negative, 0, it is positive. Okay, again, I'm going to repeat it again. This is not two, it's not 2 numbers. Yes, it is 2 bytes, but it's 1 number. Is that okay? So if someone can tell me, can I look at bit 7, bit number 7? Yeah, look at it. But what is it? Doesn't mean? It doesn't mean anything. You got what I'm saying? Because this is a complete number. Okay, together a number. Okay, but I store it in a bigger space. Okay, so here you need to look at the most significant. So when I say most significant, I mean this one. Less significant, I mean this. Okay, guys, any questions? Anyway, so until now I didn't answer the question here. I was explaining, if you have a negative number, how can you convert it to decimal? That's what I was explaining, okay? But so let me complete. In order to do that, you have to calculate what we call the 2's complement. So let me explain what you mean by the 2's complement. Okay, we have two types of complement. We have the 1's complement, and also we have the 2's complement. So what is the difference between them? I'm going to tell you the difference. Very easy, very trivial. If I give you this number, this is a number here, 1 0 0 0 0 0 0. I give you this number, and I ask you, please calculate the 1's complement of this number. So I give you one number, and I ask you to calculate the 1's complement. Okay, how can you calculate the 1's complement? Very trivial. Just flip the bits. That's it. Flip the bits. So this is bit number 1. This is number 1. I'm going to make it 0. 0 is going to become 1. 0 become 1. 0, and so on. Just a flip. So if you have a number and you just flip the bits, in this case, you are calculating the 1's complement. Is that okay? Okay. Now, what do you mean by the 2's complement? Again, there are different ways to calculate what we call the 2's complement, but here, maybe you learn it differently in the digital system, but I like to teach it this way. Okay? Again, whatever you like, there are different ways, okay? But I like to teach this way. If you want to calculate the 2's complement of any number, first you have to calculate the 1's complement, and then you have to add 1. Very easy. So the 2's complement is the 1's complement plus 1. That's it. Very easy, right? Any questions? So for example, if I have this number, I want to calculate the 2's complement of this number, 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 0. Okay? So how I calculate it? Number 1, I'm going to calculate the 1's complement, which is 0 1 1 1 1 1. Is that okay? And then I'm going to add 1. Okay? When I add 1 to this one, Okay, to this number, 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 0 is 1, and so on. So this is the result. That means if this is the ones complement of this number is this one. The two's complement of this number is this one. So the two's is this one, the ones is this one. That is very easy, very trivial. So if you want to calculate the two's, again, there are different ways. The way I like to teach it is the easy way. If you want to calculate the two's complement, just calculate the ones complement, just add one. That's very easy, right? Okay, guys. So now you should know from now until the end of the semester, you should know what when I say what's common, you should know what's common, right? When I say the two's common, you should know what I mean by the two. Okay. What you don't know now is what is the meaning of two's complement? What it means? Does it mean something? Yes. Yes. Look here, guys. It means something major. Okay. What it means? Actually, the two's complement, if I give you a number and you calculate the two's complement of this number, actually you multiply this number by -1. What you are saying? So if this number is 7, and I get the two's complement of 7, I'm going to get -7. If I have -7, calculate the two's complement of -7, I'm going to get 7. Okay? So the way we represent the negative numbers in binary using the two's complement. By the way, there are different systems, but they found the most popular system is using the two's complement. Is that okay, guys? So the two's complement is a system you can use to represent the negative numbers. Is that okay? So listen to what I want to say. So if this number, so this number and this number should be the same, but one is positive, the other is negative. If you look at this number and this number, they are the same. But one is positive, the other one is negative. So if this one is 5, so this one is -5. If this one is 7, this is -7. You understand what I'm saying, guys? So this is number 1. What is the value of this one? This one, right? If you convert this one to decimal, it is 1. So this one should be -1. Easy. Is that okay, guys? Okay. So again, there are different ways anyway, but I like to teach it this way. I feel like it's easy. Anyway, so what I'm saying, I think this will be a quiz. This will be a question in the first quiz. I'm gonna tell you, please. Incredible, right? I'm telling you what will be in the quiz. Okay, so too easy. Okay, but just to do it. So in the quiz, I'm gonna give you a number. For example, 11. It's not going to be 11, I promise, but it's going to be something like that. Okay. I'm going to tell you, can you convert the number 11? This is decimal. Can you convert it to binary? Okay. And then can you calculate -11? Okay. So how can you do that? Very easy. For example, if I tell you calculate -11, number 1, you can make 11. It's easy to do 11, right? Because you can look at the weights. So for example, 11 means you have here 1, this is weight is 1, this is the weight is 2, right? This is 2, and then this is the weight of 8. 8 plus 2 plus 1, the total is 11, right? So I'm gonna put zeros here. So this number is 11. This is easy, right? So if you have a number positive, you can convert easily to binary, right? So if I ask you calculate -11, all what you have to do, just calculate 11 and then get the two's complement. Because the two's complement of 11 is -11. Okay. Again, someone can tell me, I have another approach. I can do this, I can do that. I'm totally fine. As long as it works, I'm totally fine. But I like to teach this way. I feel like you're not going to memorize anything. You are going to keep. Because I think the other approach, you have to tell me, go, and if you find 1, if you find 0, you next year you forget. But now you'll never forget. 2's complement is 1's complement plus 1. Okay, anyway, so what I'm saying here, this is 11. So in order to get -11, just calculate the 2's complement. And to calculate the 2's complement, I have to get the 1's complement first. 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. Okay, and then add 1. If I add 1, it's going to be this way. So this is -11. Is that okay, guys? Any questions? Okay. So let me ask the other way. If I give you a number, so now, so let me make it simple. Now you should understand how can you calculate the tooth complement. That's number one. You should understand what tooth complement means. If you have a number and you get the tooth complement to this number, you actually multiply by -1. Okay. Now, if I give you a positive number like this one, and I tell you this is a signed number, how can you convert it? That's very easy. That's what I said, 2 to 0, 2 to 1. That's what I explained to you. That's the easy part, right? Now, if I give you a negative number and I ask you to convert it to decimal, this negative number, okay? Again, there are different ways, but the way I like it, if I have a negative number, I can calculate the tooth complement of this number to get the positive version of this number. And once the number is positive, it's easy. I can calculate it. You understand what I'm saying? So, for example, if I give you this number, I ask you to convert. Again, you guys, I'm repeating it. There are different ways, but I like to teach it this way. In the exams, as long as it works, it's okay to me. Okay? What I'm saying, I'm gonna tell you this number is negative, signed number. Please convert it to hexadecimal. Convert it to decimal. So all what you have to do, look at this number. This number is negative, right? So all what you have to do, you have to calculate tooth complement of this one. You are gonna get this one. Okay. So, and because the tooth complement is a positive number, one. So this one should be -1. Okay. So that's what I'm saying here. If you have this number 1, if you calculate the tooth complement, you actually multiply it by -1. If you calculate the tooth complement of this one, you are going to go to 1 again. Okay. So here, that's what will be in the quiz. I'm going to give you another number. For example, I'm going to ask you, please calculate the binary for -7, -7. Okay. So the way you have to do it, you can do 7. It's easy to do +7, and then you can calculate the tooth complement of 7. Flip the bits and add 1. This is going to give you -7. Okay. Even if you try to calculate the tooth complement of -7, you are going to get 7 back. Any question, guys? I think we need to take rest, but before we need to take rest, I just want to finish this part. Yeah, I'm going to stop here. So just give me a few minutes. Okay. There is another point some students are confused. You should understand here. Okay, please, guys. Someone student before told me, and I'm sure some of you are still confused about this one. Someone told me in the digital system we used to make numbers like 111. That's it. But in this course, until now, you put zeros. Why you put zeros? Why the number is not only 111 this way? Okay, I'm going to tell you simply because as we agreed, as I told you, any number is going to be stored in a byte or in a word, right? So digital system is different. In digital system, I just give you a number. You look at it as a number. Here, I look at it how it is going to be stored. That's why I put zeros. You can understand? That means, listen to me, that means if I have a number 7, which is 111, okay, guys, if this number 7 is stored in a byte, so it should be stored this way: 111 0 0 0 0 0. This is number 7, right? Because it should be 8 bits. I have to put something with the bits, all the 8 bits. I put this. Is that okay? That's why I always are going to put it this way. And if this number is a word, so the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to do 111 0, then 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0. For sure, I hit binary because you have to write a lot of zeros. Got to say? So that's why most of the time we're going to use hexadecimal. Look, in hexadecimal, I'm going to make it in hexadecimal, which is a $sign, as I said before. So these 4 zeros are going to be only 1 digit. These 4 zeros are 1 digit. These 4 zeros are 1 digit. This 7 is going to be 7. You got what I'm saying? I love hexadecimal for sure. Much better than binary. It's really very difficult, right? Anyway, is that clear here? So you understand why? Because in this course, all numbers we have either bytes or words. Okay, that's why I put zeros, because I want to keep it a byte. Okay? Anyway, so I just want to finish this part. I'm not going to teach you anything new. When I take break and continue. So you should understand. So it is very clear in the coming quiz. If I give you a number and I ask you to calculate the ones complement of the number, fair, right? It's very easy. I already explained. Also, I can give you a number and I ask you to calculate the two complement. That's what I'm explaining. This is number, let me go here, sorry. This is number 7 minus 7 and so on. So let me go to the chart, this part here. Look here, guys. I told you, what I'm explaining now is, if you have a binary number, how can you convert it to decimal? That's what I'm explaining. I told you, number one, you have to tell me, is this number you are giving me signed or unsigned? You have to tell me, okay? If it is unsigned, I have only one way to convert. 2 to 0, 2 to 1, 2 to 2, 2 to 3, and so on. It's easy, right? If it is unsigned. If the number is signed, I have two different ways, okay? If it is positive, so it's going to be the same way like unsigned, 2 to 0, 2 to 1, 2 to 2, and so on. If it is negative, right? So this is a negative number. I'm going to calculate the two complement in order to get the positive version of this number. And once it's positive, I'm going to calculate this positive number, okay? And then this number is the same number, but negative, okay? And that's what I did here, okay? Even, so for example, if I give you this number is negative number. You can look at this bit, negative number. If you calculate the two complement of this number, you are going to get this number. So this number and this number are the same, right? But this is positive, this is negative. And because this is number 1, this should be -1. Clear, easy, right? So anyway, so I think I can come now to the last point here before we take a rest. Okay, the last, or very close. Anyway, so look guys here. So you should ask me now, look, this binary representation, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, guys, this can mean -1 if you consider this number signed, or this can mean 255 if you consider this number unsigned. You agree? So the same representation, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 can mean. So if the computer gives me 1, 1, 1, 1, okay? What should I display here in the LCD for the user? What should I display? Should I display 255 or I should display -1? Is that okay, guys? How can you know? Is there anything in these numbers can tell me if this is signed or unsigned? The answer is no. This is different from positive or negative. Positive or negative, you can look at the most significant bit. But signed or unsigned, you cannot look at anything. Okay? So again, you didn't answer the question. If the computer gives me 1, 1, 1, 1, should I display 255 or should I display -1? You agree with this? Okay, look here. Actually, we have two programs to convert binary to decimal. To have two programs. One program for signed numbers, another one for unsigned numbers. That means when you write your code, you as a programmer, you from the very beginning, you decide this, I'm going to have a slide in C language, integer X, integer Y, so on. So you define variables. And you decide if this variable is signed or unsigned. You as a programmer, at the time you write your code, okay? You know, some quantities, some variable in our life can be unsigned, and other quantities can be signed. For example, motor speed, the speed of the motor can be negative. Maybe it depends on if you consider the direction can be positive or can be negative. That's okay. Temperature, yes, temperature can be positive or negative. So this is, I can make this variable signed. Number of cars, number of students. No, I think this should be unsigned because number of cars, if you have a system to count number of cars passing the street, so this should be unsigned. Is that okay? So anyway, that means when you write your program, you need to decide. I'm going to use signed or unsigned variable. And then you have two different programs, right? One signed and one to convert to unsigned. And you have to select, you have to pick the right one. That's what I'm saying. One more thing. Look here. When I teach, listen to me, very important. When I teach assembly instructions, right? For some instructions, it does not matter if the number of signed and unsigned doesn't matter. If you copy, for example, if you copy bits and you byte, you copy byte to byte. It doesn't matter. I just copy. So for this instruction, it doesn't matter, right? Some instruction, it matters. So if you do multiplication, if the numbers are signed, it's going to be different from the numbers unsigned. You get what I'm saying? That is why when I teach this instruction, I'm going to tell you we have two set of instructions. One set of instruction for signed and one set of instruction for unsigned. And you are the programmer, you know this number signed and unsigned. So when you write your code, when you write your program, you have to select the correct instruction. Is that clear, guys? Again, let me summarize what I said. I know it's a little bit confusing. So numbers can be signed or unsigned, okay? We need to know if it's signed or unsigned, because for sure it's gonna, and even as I'm gonna explain later, if you do comparison, if you compare between two numbers, for example, I want to compare this number here to this number here. Okay, I want to use an instruction to check if it is greater or less. Which number is greater or less? It matters if it is signed or unsigned. For sure, it matters, because if it is unsigned, so this one is 255 and this is number 3. So 255 is greater than 3, so it matters, right? But if it is signed, so it's -1, 3. So 3 is greater than -1. You got what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that for some instruction, I'm going to explain to you. It's up to you if you consider this number because it's not some instruction. Comparison like this one, you need to use the correct instruction. I'm going to teach two instructions here. One for signed and one for unsigned, because the decision is different. You understand what I'm saying? Clear? Okay. So again, I'm going to repeat it for the last time. Okay. Computer does not know if this number is signed or unsigned. This is something you should consider when you write your program. When you write your program, you have two different algorithms. You have two different programs. One to convert it to decimal using for signed. You have another one for unsigned. Also, if you want to do comparison between numbers, you have two instructions. One for signed and one for unsigned. Okay, so this is something you consider when you write your program. Okay, anyway. So nothing here, yeah, nothing here. This is what I'm explaining. If it is -1 or 250, so I have to know this signed or unsigned in order to output this one or output this one, and I already handled it. The other thing I want to say here, I think that's very easy. If you have, the other thing I'm going to teach here, if you have like a positive, if you have a positive number, like for example 9 here, okay, how can you convert this 9 number to decimal? Okay, the way you have to do it, you divide by 2. You remember this one when you divide by 2? Okay, let me explain. So for example, which number? Let's have 1011. What this number is? 1, 2, and 8, right? So this is 11, right? So let's convert 11. So if you have 11, okay, you know when you keep dividing by 2, okay? So you can divide it by 2. 11 divided by 2, it is 5. And there is one remainder. Why? Because if you multiply 5 by 2, it's 10. So there is one difference. So I'm going to put it here. The remainder is here. And then you divide 5 by 2, the result is 2. And still 1 is remaining here. Is that okay? And then 2 divided by 2 is 1, and nothing is remaining. Okay? And then 1 is divided by 2. The result is 0, and 1 is remaining. Okay, guys? And then what you get first here, this one is least significant. So you have, that should be 1, 1, 0. Okay? Anyway, I think that's very easy. So here, you need only to learn how can you convert positive numbers. Okay? Because once I have 11, this way as a positive number, you can calculate the two component of 11 to get minus 11. Anyway, I think that's easy, you know it. Okay? Any question about that? So before we take a break, so what I did so far, I already explained, or you should know, you should name number one, what mean by binary hexadecimal decimal. You should know why you are going to use decimal, why you are going to use binary, why you are going to use hexadecimal. You should know how can you convert the binary to hexadecimal to binary. You should know how can you convert binary to decimal and decimal to binary using, if it is signed or unsigned. You should know the idea of the prefix here to tell me if this number, what system you are using here. Also, you should also you should know all these terms by toward least significant bit, most significant bit. Bit number 0, bit number 7. Don't be confused when in the exam. I tell you, for example, clear bit number 7. You know what to start from 0. Okay. Very important. So here also, as I told you, any information you have, it's just either a byte or a word. You can. So someone can tell me, if you have a variable, should you select byte or a word? Which one I have to select? As I'm going to explain later, based on the size. Word, it's a bigger space, so I can store bigger number. Same thing in C language, by the way. In C language, you have integer, you have long integer, right? It's the same idea. Integer, it gives a space. Long integer is going to be bigger space. So it depends on what do you expect. What is the maximum value for this number? If it is enough for a byte, just use a byte. If it is a word, just use a word. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to explain later. I think we can take a rest now. 10 minutes. So it's 6:20. Okay. I'm trying to get another TV with experience. Okay. So this course needs something to experience. You know what? Hard. When we look at the program, especially so given the level, student need is that okay? And there are too many reasons. Sometimes even it's difficult for me, okay? Because you have to look at everything and maybe something you cannot imagine. What I'm saying? So for example, sometimes if some students just play with the jumper. If you change the jumpers, the signal you output is not going to go to the buzzer, it's going to go somewhere else. Same thing if you play in this one is not going to work. Like you switch. The signal is not going to go here, it's going to go there. Also, something like, there are a lot of things, so it needs some experience, okay? That's why I want to from you, we're going to have like experience student being come here. So what I agreed with Dr. Alan is, it's like this semester, you should get some experience so that you can continue this course. If you do it this semester, this is good for you because you don't need, every semester you don't need to prepare for the course. You can just continue this. Okay? But again, you should like get some experience, okay? Especially to get familiar with the board, familiar with software. Is that okay? That's why I'm trying to get another TA with experience with this. So for now, I want you to attend the lecture. Okay. As I mentioned, the lectures here are going to be. Yeah, it's going to be Monday and. Which one? Okay, which day? It's exactly at the same time. Yeah, anyway, I don't like that, but looks like we don't have other option. Yeah. Again, because as I had discussion today, the problem is the complete. We have 24 students. Today may not be, not all of them attended. Now I didn't count the students. Anyway, not too many, but anyway. Or maybe because the room is large, we don't see them a lot. When I have 24 students, that means we have at least 40, at least we have 21 groups. So if group raises, if one raises his hand and you spend too much time with them, it's gonna frustrate the other students. So that's why I told him you should be experienced so that you can help yourself quickly before you move to, so that you can help the other students. That's why you should learn this course very well. So at least for with the labs, I want you to do the labs. Okay. So you, yeah, so I'm gonna until now I didn't post anything for labs, but I will do when the time comes. I'm gonna post lab one. Okay, so do it before you come. Yeah, do it like a stream. Okay, and then you can also when the other TV comes, if you need any help. So so now this semester you should get experience. So the next month are gonna be next semester. This guy is going to leave us. So I'm going to be the primary TA. You know what I'm saying? So I want to train you because there are a lot of tricks, a lot of things. For example, if this one is up, it doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, but sometimes it's really too tricky. And also, I don't want to spend too much time with one group because we have to also maybe frustrate us. I can tell you, for example, one time, someone wrote a program, I myself, it doesn't work. It doesn't work this and solve it to me. And you have to figure out the problem is very too long time to find the problem. Once you find the problem, it takes 0 time to fix it. But what is the problem? There's a problem. Okay, there's a problem. You have to find the problem. I can tell you something happened to me. I was here in the lab one time. I looked at the program, everything looks okay. I changed the board, changed the board. I did, everything looks okay. I looked at every possibility, and you know what was wrong? Chris, you cannot even imagine. So when I look at the code, it was supposed to be, he wrote something like, this is 4 position, with like 0, 0, 0. 0, 1, 2. We did something like that. And actually, this one was supposed to be here. My eyes, because it's binary, I was not able to catch it because it's binary. But here, this one has a print. So you always experience this thing. But actually, the buzzer needs another print. That's why you didn't hear anything. So this is progress. Anyway, so I want you to work very hard on this. If you do well in this course, so anytime you put here, then you are very satisfied because you prepare it only one time. Okay? And also, I want you to TE when it comes, okay, to if you need anything, ask him. I am not going to teach because I teach it next semester. I want to share it. Something for assignment. Something before you. Also, I'm trying to identify people that get skills and build my main concern is less. Because we have 21 groups. I need if someone this is them, which we help so that we can move to the user. That's it. So, especially, assembly is hard. Because I'm saying it's not hard, but you have to find the problem assembly is more challenging than find than C. Otherwise, we have to prepare it well. And students are going to write evaluation for you, right? So if the evolution is too bad, so this is how the system works. So you need to predict very well. And again, I'm not expecting you to do anything. That's why I wish if you can attend the lecture, okay. But at least if you need any help with the experience, okay. Okay, guys, so let's take a seat. Okay, guys. So here, what I want to say here, if you have n-bit numbers, n-bit number, you have a number and this number has n bits. So for example, I have a number and this number has n bits. Okay. So how many different numbers I can represent in n-bit number? Okay. So we have n-bit number. Okay. So how many different numbers? Okay, we can represent. It's very simple. Look here. If the number of bits is n, so I can have 2 to the power n. Very simple, very easy. Is that okay, guys? That means, I'll give you an example. I have 3-bit number. Again, I told you whenever it is 3, 5, 4, all the time whether it is 8 or 16. But I just give you the general rule, okay, for any number. So here, if you have 3-bit, my number is 3-bit, my information is 3-bit, okay? Anyway, so my data is 3-bit. So my number is 3-bit. So in 3-bit, how many different numbers you can represent in 3 bits? 2 to 3, which is 8. Which is 8. That means in 3-bit, I can have up to 8 different numbers, which are 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 2, or 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this all possible case. How many? They are 8. Is that okay? So same thing. If you have 8-bit number, so total I can have 2 to the power 8, which is 256 number. Is that clear? So if you have 8 bits, I can have 256 numbers. Okay. For 16 bits, how many different numbers I can have in 16 bits? Same thing, very easy. 2 to the power 16, which is 65,536. Okay. So this one has all the numbers from 0, 0, 0, 0 until 1, 1, 1, 1. That okay? All the numbers. Is that easy? Very easy, right? So most of the time we're going to focus on 8 and 16, as I said. Now, this is the interesting part. Look here. If your number is unsigned, I told you for n bit, total we have 2 to the power n. That's all the numbers. All the numbers I have. Okay. If your number is unsigned, what is the minimum number and maximum number you can represent in any bit unsigned number? Very easy. Listen to me. How many numbers I have? 2 to the power n. Okay. So I can represent starting from number 0 until 2 to the power n minus 1. Because all the numbers I have 2 to the power n. Right? So the first one is 0. So the last one should be 2 to the power n minus 1. Is that okay? So that means if you have an 8-bit number, okay, and I tell you this is unsigned, that means all the numbers I have 2 to the power 8, which is 256. However, the minimum number I can have is 0. I can have numbers from 0 until 255. 255 is 2 to the power 8 minus 1. Is that right? So I start from 0, and then I'm going to use the whole space in the positive area. Right? So from 0 to until 255. Is that okay? Makes sense. Because the whole space is 256. I already got one for 0, so I'm going to go all the way until 255. Okay? This is what I'm explaining here. What about 16-bit? If it is 16. If it is 16, you can go from, because 16, this is the whole numbers you have, 65, 536. Is that okay? This is the whole space. The first one is going to be 0, so the last one is going to be 65, 535. Is that right? Okay. So for example, it's like, for example, if I tell you I have 8 numbers, so from 0 to 7, from 0 to 7 is 8. Okay. So anyway, so same thing here. If you think about 16 bits, if you have 16 bits, a bit number, so this one can take the number from 0 until 65, 535. The whole space is still 2 to 16, which is 65, 536. Is that okay, guys? Again, pretty easy, because I have a space. I'm going to start from 0, and then the whole numbers are going to be in the positive area, right? Now, this is if this number is unsigned. Now, what if this number is signed? Okay, what I'm going to do, I have 0. So half of the space is going to be in the positive, and half of the space I'm going to put it in the negative. You got what I'm saying? So in case of unsigned, so I started from 0, and then I went all the way, all the numbers I put it here, the positive sign. But in case of signed, it's going to be half in the positive and half in the negative. Okay. However, you cannot cut it exactly half. You cannot. Why? Because you have 0. This number is already so. You have the whole space is 2 to n. Is that okay? This is even number. This number you can cut it in half because it's even, right? However, if you remove 0 from here, you are gonna have 2 to n minus 1. This number is odd number, not even. So you cannot cut exactly in half. That's why one side should be greater than the other. That's true. Okay, so that's what you'll see. You will see now. If you have assigned the number, this one, the whole space is 2 to the power n. We're not going to change the space. It's the same space, but instead of going all the way in the positive, I'm gonna have positive, have negative. That's it. Okay. So anyway, so this one is gonna go until minus 2 to n minus 1, which is, by the way, maybe some of you are confused. So this one actually 2 to n divided by 2, but this is another way to represent it. Okay. So half of the space is gonna go to the negative, and the half minus 1 is going to go to the positive. What this means? Again, I cannot cut in half. I cannot, as I said, I cannot cut in half. So the negative should be 1 more. You get what I'm saying? So anyway, so if you have assigned the number, this is the range. You can represent starting from minus 2 to n minus 1. The minus 1 is here. Okay. Or this one can be 2 to n divided by 2. Half of the space. This one half of the space minus 1 because of the 0, Anyway, so let's have our 2 examples, 8 and 16. So in case of 8, if you use this simple formula, in case of 8, you can go to until minus 128 until positive 127. This is the range of numbers you can use. Is that okay? Okay. But if you look at 16-bit, in case of unsigned, should be from 0 to 65, 535. In case of signed, should be minus 32768 or positive 32767. So positive is 1 less. Is that okay, guys? Okay. So again, what I'm explaining here, guys, in this slide is if you have a bit number, okay, what is the minimum number and what is the range? Minimum and maximum number you can represent in 8-bit number. In 8 or 16, in any in-bit numbers. Is that okay, guys? Okay, but why this is important? For sure, this is important because you can use this information to decide how big is your variable. You got what I'm saying? So, for example, I want to count the number of students. I want to count the number of calls, and so on. I want to count something. When I count something, it has to be unsigned. Is that okay? So, if you are what you are counting is a number that's less than 255, or so in this case you can use a byte, because byte you can in a byte you can store a number from 0 to 255 if your number is unsigned. But if your number is signed, so this is the range you have. Is that okay? Someone can ask me, what if I am measuring is outside this range? I need something great, bigger than that. Use a word. Use a word. Is that okay? Use bigger space. That's exactly what we did in syllabus. In syllabus, you have, I think, short, integer, like long, right? Every one of them has different space, right? Different space means different, you can put different numbers, okay? So, what if you need, and we're not gonna, I don't think we're gonna need something like that in this course, because we're programming a simple computer, simple program, okay? But anyway, what if you need a number bigger than this one? Very easy. Word is not enough. You need to use something bigger than a word. Okay, guys, because this is space, right? So if you need numbers bigger than these ones, so anyway, so again, for now, you should know, number one, if you have n-bit number, okay? And n, most of the time, we're gonna focus on 8 and 16, as I told you. You should know how many numbers, two numbers we can represent an n-bit number, which is 2 to the power n, right? Also, you should know how can you calculate the minimum and maximum number in case of signed and unsigned, okay? Any questions? Always the negative is one more, as I said. So it's not from minus 128 to positive 128, because if you do this way and you have 0 in the middle, so total I need 257. And as I told you, in 8 bits, I'm going to have only 256. That's why they are not exactly in half. Okay? Half and half. Is that clear? Okay, anyway. So now I finished the first section here. So let me go to the slides. So this is, so here, this is what I'm going to teach in chapter 1. First, here's the number system. I finished it. Okay. So maybe you have these slides, as I told you. If you want to study from my handwriting from here, they are the same, whatever you like. But maybe I want to show you this one. It's somehow interesting. Look here, guys. So here, this number, as I said, can be signed or unsigned, right? So this is the conversion here. The inner numbers here. This is the conversion if this number is unsigned, and the outer number here if it is signed. That means this number, if it is signed or unsigned, 1 and 1 is the same, no difference. Okay. And this is always the case for positive numbers. So for positive numbers, the binary number has a same conversion to this, right? They are going to change in the negative. You will see right now. Look here. So 0, 0 is the same, 0 and 0. This is a positive number, it's the same, 1 and 1. This is a positive, so signed or unsigned, going to be the same, 2 and 2. That's why I told you, if it is signed number and positive, you are going to convert the same way like unsigned. Anyway, 3 and 3. Now it's going to start to be different, right? So this is a negative number, 1, 0, 0. So by accident, just by accident, this is 4 and minus 4. Okay, so the same number can be 4 or minus 4, signed or unsigned. This number 101. So this is 5, this is minus 3. Okay. This is 6, and this is minus 2. Okay. 7 or minus 1. Is that okay, guys? You can see here, that's what I explained. The minimum is 0, the maximum is 7. Why? Because total we have 8. Total we have 8 numbers, 2 to 3. 2 to 3, we have 8 numbers, right? So these 8 numbers, If they are unsigned, so they can go from 0 to 7. But if they are signed, they are going to go from positive 4 to minus 4. No, sorry, 3 if it is signed, and the minus 4. Always the minus is one more. Okay, any questions? Okay, now I'm going to move to the next topic. This is just what I did right now, just very quick. So now I assume you already have this background. Now I want to talk about computer hardware organization. Okay, and I want to make it clear, guys, what you mean by computer. Okay, as I said, this chip has computer architecture. So the architecture of this chip is similar to the architecture of this one of your smartphone. It's similar to the architecture of your laptop or PC. You get what I'm saying? All of them have the same architecture. Okay? But for sure, this one doesn't have too much resources comparing to this one, right? And that makes sense. It's not a weakness. Why it is not a weakness? Why I put too much resources here and I don't need it. I don't need a big memory, right? So it's going to be expensive and I don't need it, okay? Because I'm going to use this chip, for example, in the light there, so that to sense, so to make this light smarter. So to sense if there are people in the room or not. If no one in the room, it's going to turn off by itself. Or it can sense the brightness, and then it can control the brightness of the lamp, for example, and so on. You understand what I'm saying? So you can make things smarter, as I explained. So that's too simple, right? Anyway, so that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the basic architecture for any computer system. Okay, and I made it clear what I mean by computer system. This one is a computer, but you'll be surprised that everything we live in the world of computers. Okay, your microwave has a lot of this chip. Your printer, your car. Okay, and now the people are talking about smart. Everything is smart. We're going to make it smart using this chip. So computers are everywhere around us. IoT, Internet of Things, and all of these things. Okay, so let's see. Any computer architecture should look like this. Number one, we have microprocessor, or sometimes we call it processor. Okay, this is our microprocessor. Okay, and we have what this processor is doing. Very simple. This processor is doing only one thing: execute instructions. That's it. Give me an instruction, I will do it. I will execute it. That's it. You got what I'm saying? So you have microprocessor. This microprocessor is made so that it can execute instructions, right? However, using microprocessor alone, I cannot create a system. Microprocessor alone is not a system. It cannot work, right? That's why to create a computer system, I need memory. I'm going to explain why we need memory later. Also, I need input-output devices. Input and output device, okay? And then I have to connect them together so that they can communicate with each other using what we call bus. Okay? So this architecture, any computer should have this architecture. But again, remember, it's just the basic ones. You know, there are some very advanced technology. I'm talking about the basic ones. So all of them have this architecture. Even this chip also has this architecture. Is that okay, guys? So I'm going to explain in details. Again, this processor only can execute an instruction, so alone cannot create a system. We need to put everything together this way to create a system. So now I'm going to explain details, why we need a memory, why we need buses, okay? What you mean by input-output device. So I'm going to give you more details now, okay? So let's start with what do you mean by input and what do you mean by output devices? Okay, pretty simple. Look at the direction of the arrow here, guys. Look at the direction. If the data is sent from the device to the microcontroller, in other words, if the microcontroller all the time read from the device, so this device is input, right? If you look here, if the microprocessor all the time write to the device, you send data from microprocessor to the device, this is output, okay? For sure, in your computer, the mouse is input, right? Keyboard is input, monitor is output, speaker is output, right? Here, what I'm going to teach you later in this course, the HCD here is output because you send data to the HCD. You don't read the HCD. Doesn't make sense to read the HCD. This is not going to send data. It's going to take. So this is output. Second segment, output. LEDs are output. Buzzer. We have a buzzer here. Output. Okay. We have RGB LED. I'm going to explain it. RGB. So this LED can give 3 colors: red, green, blue. Okay. Anyway, so all these devices are output. So what kind of input devices you have? I have this switch is input because microprocessor is going to read the switch, right? This keypad is input. Maybe you put a sensor, temperature sensor, for example, temperature sensor. This temperature sensor is going to sense the temperature, a microprocessor is going to read from it. Okay, guys? So anyway, to be simple, to create a system, you need input-output devices. Okay, all the time when you run your program, all the time microprocessor should read or write, okay, read from devices, do processing to the data, and then write. That's why all the time, if you see how the computer works, all the time data goes this way, then data goes this way, and so on. Is that okay, guys? Okay. Let me ask you a question. Do we have here in this diagram? I'm showing you only one block, but actually it's not only one. We have multiple devices. So for input, we can have several ones. Same thing for output. We have several ones. Any questions? Okay, guys. So now I'm gonna give. So now for sure you can understand why we need input and output. We need input so that you get data from the user, right? So for example, you are controlling an air condition. So I need to get from you a number. What temperature? You need to set the temperature. So I need to give you the new data, right? You have a temperature sensor. So I wanna get the temperature. So I have to get data. Okay. So input devices is used if the microprocessor needs to get data, right? Output devices is used if microprocessor wanna output data, right? And you can output data in order to display it to the user. You can display something here, you can display something here, or this data, for example, you can have what we call a latch. This is a device. This device can be used if you open the door or close the door. You get what I'm saying? So this also output. So you can output some device, you can output a number. So in order to activate this latch, to open the door or close the door, or turn on a motor or turn it off. So what I want to say, it's not always you want to display data, not always like that. Because sometimes you want to turn on the motor, you want to turn off the motor, you want to activate the latch to open the door, and so on. Anyway, okay. So this is input and output. Okay, I'm going to explain what do you mean by memory? What are the different kinds of memory, and why we need memory? I already explained because I already explained input-output devices. Because in any system, we need to get data, do processing, and then we have to output data. So that's okay, makes sense. But why we need memory? I'm going to explain why we need memory here, and also what do you mean by buses and why we need buses. Okay, so I'm going to elaborate about this. Look here, guys. Let's start with buses. Bus. What do you mean by bus and why we need it? I'm going to tell you why. Look here, guys. We have several input-output devices. Is that okay? The question is, how can I connect this input-output device to the microprocessor? Should I make a dedicated wire for each input-output device? So, for example, I'm going to make a wire with this device, a wire with this device, a wire with this device. Should I do this way? No, they don't, because wiring is going to be too difficult, right? To make many wires to many input-output doesn't work this way. Okay, so how they connect them together here? Okay. The way they connect it together using what we call shared bus. So we have wire, all of us are connected to this wire. Okay, so let me, yeah, as you see here, guys, we have wire this way. All of us are connected to the same wire. All of us connected to the same wire. Okay, so we have a common bus. So if I want to read, for example, an input device, this input device has to put the data on the shared bus, and then I'm going to get it from the bus. Is that okay? So as you see here, we have many input devices. Okay, but which device? So I have to tell, right? So for example, as you see here, there is a control pin here, control to tell this device, please put your data on the bus. Okay, and this guy is going to take it from the bus. And keep in mind, this is shared bus. It means it's not allowed. It's not allowed that two devices put the data at the same time. Doesn't make sense. Only one should put the data. After I read it, now the bus is free. You can use it for something else. Is that clear? So anyway, this is how it works. Just for wiring, okay, to make it easy for when you connect many input-output devices. Okay, for wiring. Okay. So now the question we come. Oh, now the question. Listen to me. As I said, we have several input devices. Okay, guys, can be switches, can be push button, it can be keypad, whatever. So we have several input devices. So I need to select one device. I ask this device, please push button, give me your data, right? Or please sensor, give me your data. I have to select one of them. How? Which one? Because we agree, the bus has to be used only by one device. Two cannot write at the same time. Otherwise, it's going to be, the signal is going to be damaged or distorted the signal. It shouldn't work this way, okay? So how this happens? It happens because we have three types of buses. We have data bus, as you see here. Yeah. So we have three types of buses. We have data bus. We have address bus, and we have what we call control bus. Okay. So we have three types of buses. We name these buses based on the information they carry. So the data bus carries data. Address bus carries address. Okay. So what do you mean by address? I'm going to tell you very easy. I'm going to tell you what I mean by address. Look here, guys. Address means identify. Identify. Okay. This is what we call address. So each input-output device has a unique address, a unique identifier. It's like your social security now. Every person has a different social security to identify the person. Same thing here. That means if I wanna read a certain device, right? So I have to output its number. So every device has a certain number. Okay. So for example, yeah. For example, this. So here, this device, its address is number 70. This one is address number 50, number 20, number 10, whatever. So everyone has a. So what should happen is this is data bus, right? We should have another bus. Everyone should be connected to this bus this way, right? If I want to read the device number 70, I have to put in number 70 in the address bus. Is that okay? Same thing if I want to write data. So if I want to write data to one output device, okay, because the data is on the bus, everyone can take it, but only one should take it. Which one? You have to have address for this one. Is that okay? You understand what I'm saying? Just like IP address, like IP address, something like that. Okay. And you will understand better in chapter 3. In chapter 3, you will see this address for yourself. You will know you will know this one is connected to port H, and this is the address for port H, and so on. Anyway, is that clear, guys? So now you should understand what I mean by bus. Okay, bus, we have data bus, right? It's shared, okay? But only one device should use it at each time, right? And how can we do that? Using address bus, okay? So what happens is, if I want to write to a device, okay? Number one, I have to output the address of this device, okay? On the address bus. And then once the device, using hardware, once the device sees, oh, this is me, you are calling me. Yes, it's you. And then I'm gonna put my data on the data bus. And then Microsoft is gonna take it. Now the bus is free. You can use it for another one. Is that you got what I'm saying? Okay, anyway. So you should understand what I mean by address. You should understand what I mean by data. You mean data is shared bus, but we have to make sure only one device should use it at a time, at a certain time, okay? At any time. So here we have three types of buses. We have data bus, we have address bus, we have control bus. I'm going to talk about the control bus. So the data bus should carry data. For example, here, if you have, let me make a better figure. So for example, we have here data, and you have here address. Okay, it's just one line, but in reality, it is if it is 8-bit, it should be 8 lines. But I'm going to represent it as only one line. Okay. Anyway, so this one is connected to, for example, this is the LCD, this is the LED. Okay. If I want, and the address, I'm putting any numbers. Okay, just to understand it. If the LCD, the address of the LCD is number 10, and this is number 20. If I want to write something to the LCD, and this is a microprocessor. So there should be steps. In the first step, I have to write 10 here, right? This is number one. Number two, the second step, I have to write here the data. What do you wanna what data you have to send the LCD? For example, I'm gonna send 3A. This is the byte. I want to send this byte to the LCD. Is that okay? Okay. Are you done? No, I'm not done. Why? Because how the LCD can know that the data is available and it can read right now. Okay, that's why we need a control bus. So we have here control bus is connected to everyone. Control bus. So number one, once I put the address, this is number one. Number two, once I put the data, so everything now is ready. Everything is ready. I have using the control bus. I'm gonna put the output. You can work right now. Go and take your data. You got what I'm saying? Because I already put the address, so I can send the signal to the output. Only one is gonna take this data, the one that has this address. I put right there. Okay. Once I'm done now, so I'm done. So now I wanna send something to the LEDs. It's gonna be the same idea, but this time I have to write here 20. Okay, just to tell that this data is for you LED, it's not for anybody else. Is that clear? Okay. So just what I'm explaining here, guys. So every output device or input should have a unique number. This unique number, you call it address. Okay, and all of them are connected to the address bus. Okay, so the same number. So once I put in number 2, that means this is for you here. If this guy is not going to do anything, all of them are not going to do anything because this address is for number 2. And then number 2, you have to put data on the data bus, and then you give a signal to this output device. Now everything is ready for you. Please take the data and so on. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So this is how it works. So if you see all the time, it works this way. Microprocessor read, write, read, write. You read data, do processing, write, read, write. All the time. Okay. Now, this is what I explained right now for input-output devices. The same thing is going to happen with memory. Exactly the same thing. Why? Because you can see memory as too many locations in memory. Every location can store 1 byte, and every location should have address, a unique address. Again, let me say it again. Look here, guys. We agreed. We agreed. If I want to send the data to input output device, number one, I have to send the address related to this device, and then I'm going to send the data. So the device can understand this data is for me. Is that clear? Same thing for memory. The only difference is memory, it has too many locations. Every location has address. You know what I'm saying? So you have to tell. So this is a memory. It has locations. This is location number 0, location number 1, location number 2 and 3. And this location, we call it address. Every location has a unique address. Is that okay? Oh, so I cannot tell the memory, take this byte and store it. I cannot tell the memory, take this byte and store it. This is not enough. You have to tell me where exactly you want to store it. So the way it has to work, I have to tell the memory, please memory, in the location number 217, in this location, store number 70. Is that okay? That's exactly the same thing. Okay. So again, you can see memory has many locations. Every location can store a byte. Is that okay? Okay. And every location has address. And before you read or write, memory you can read or write, right? So I can tell the memory, please give me the information in location number 0. Can I give you this byte? Or give me the information in location number 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to give you this byte, whatever it's stored there. Okay. Same thing if you want to write. So you have to tell me which location. And every location is store a byte. That means if you want to read from the memory, you have to read a byte. If you want to write, you have to write a byte. Okay. Can I read a bit? No, it's just a fixed unit. Right? Read a byte, write a byte. Is that okay? So here what I'm saying, guys, here I want to answer a question. I didn't answer it yet. Okay, so any computer system should have a memory. Any computer system should have a memory. Yes. Without memory, I cannot create a system. Okay. So why? I'm going to use this memory for what? I'm going to use it for what? Look here. Actually, this memory, I'm going to use the memory to store two things. I'm going to store my program in the memory. Also, I'm going to store data in the memory. The good thing about this course, okay, you are going to see the memory in the first lab. You will see the memory. You will see how your program is going to convert it to ones and zeros stored in memory, right? You will see how your data is stored in memory. Look what I'm saying. So memory is used to store the program because I told you your program is just a bunch of ones and zeros. Where I have to store that? Microprocessor does not have a storage space. You got what I'm saying? So what happens is, and that's what you're going to see in the first lab. You will see your program, after you write the code should be converted to machine code, binary code, ones and zeros. And this binary code, so this is instruction 1, instruction 2, instruction 3, and so on. Just a bunch of ones and zeros. Okay, what happens is, microprocessor when I execute a program, right? The program is stored in memory, right? So I'm going to tell memory, give me instruction 1. Memory is going to give me instruction. I'm going to execute it. I'm done with instruction 1. What shall I do next? Memory, give me instruction 2, right? Memory is going to give me instruction 2. Give me instruction just a bunch of ones and zeros. And the good thing in this course, you will see these ones and zeros. Okay? Again, the hardware, for example, if you want to do addition, you have to use 101010, a certain code to do addition. Why this code? Because the hardware and the processor is designed, once I have this ones and zeros, I put it in the hardware, I'm going to do addition. Okay, it's designed this way. Anyway, that's how it is. So that's how it works. So all the time, Microsoft is going to execute it one by one, instruction by instruction. That's why I need a space to store the program. And then all the time Microsoft is going to take one instruction, execute it, I'm done with this one. Then I have to read the second one, I have to read the third one, and so on. Is that clear? Any questions? That's why I need memory. Because without memory, where you store your program, right? system number 2. Also, you have data. For example, I need variables. Where you are going to put your variables? Any program, you need data, you need variables. So where you put your variables? Also in memory. That's why I told you in memory, you have one part. We have one part for your program, and you have one part for your data. Here, your data can include variables. Okay, variables. Also, for example, I have a sensor. This sensor gives me temperature, and I want to store. So, for example, I want to collect the temperature of a week. I need to store it somewhere. So I create an array. I have to put this array somewhere. So I'm going to put it also in memory. So that later, if you want to read any variable, you can read it from memory. Is that okay? So conclusion, any computer system should have a memory, and this memory should be used to save your program, but also to store data. All the time, my computer has to read one instruction by one instruction. Also, I need, for example, you read a variable, you compare the variable, and then you make a decision. You write something to variables, so also variables are in memory. Is that okay, guys? So that's why you should understand why you need memory. Okay, and this is how it is actually connected as a hardware. Look here. So as I told you, the system, the complete system, you should have input-output devices, and you should have memory as well. Now, I want to only focus on the memory. That's why I'm going to remove input-output device. I'm going to only focus on the memory. Okay, so here, this is a chip, memory chip. Okay, and you have data bus. So this memory, the data here is connected to here. Also, we have address bus. Okay, look at the arrow. So look at the direction of this arrow. This is bidirectional. You know why? Because I can read, so data can come this way, or I can write. This is different from input-output device. Okay, so for input device has to send the data to the processor. For output device, it has to take data from the processor. But for memory, you may send or you may receive. Is that right? When you send the data to memory, we call it write operation. So when I write, actually, so processor is going to write to the memory. When you read, we call it reading operation. Okay. So if you are doing reading operations, you are going to take a byte from the memory. Writing means you are going to write to the memory. Okay. And also, as I told you, so the data are going to be here. The address has to be here, and if you see the address, it's one way, because you are not going to write the address, because processor is addressing the memory, not the other way, right? So I have to take. That's why the data always for the address bus it has to be this way. Okay. Again, don't be confused. The address bus is this to tell you. I need to tell the memory. The memory has to move. Think this way. This is like a memory bus. This is a byte, right? This one unit. This is a byte. This is a byte. This is a byte. Every byte has a number. This number is 0, number 1, number 2, number 3. Is that okay? If I want to read this information, it's stored in this location. Okay, so you have to tell me which location, number 7, number 8, and so on. Every location is a byte. Every location has a unique number, which is calling address. Okay, so that's why when you read, you have to read a byte. When you write, you have to write a byte. Okay. Okay. So, and also, we have here a control bus, as I mentioned. We have a control bus. This control bus has to tell the memory, do you want to read or write? Because how the memory can know if you want to read or write, right? Memory can do one of two things, can read or write. So that's why you have a control signal to tell the memory, do you want to do writing or reading? Okay, so this should be the control bus. Okay, so that's what I mentioned. The memory has locations, as you see here. Every location can store only one byte, one unit, right? One byte. Every location has a unique identifier, we call it address. As I'm explaining here, this is location number 0. I store the data FF. This is location number 1. I store 3A. This is location number 2. I store EB. Is that clear? It's a good thing. That's what you are going to see in the coming lab. So in the coming lab, you will see you can navigate the locations. You can see, look, but 2 we have many locations. You can navigate the location and you can see what data is stored in each location. Okay, so for now, I assume you understand what I mean by address. Why you need address? Okay, because when you read from the memory, you have to tell the memory which location you want to read or write, right? So also, you should understand in every location we store a byte, as you see here. Don't be confused at all between address and what is stored in this address. It's just a location. This location number 2, in this location I store byte EB. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So for example, if I tell the memory, please, I want to read location number 2, the memory is going to give you AB. It's going to copy AB. Is that okay? So this location is going to still storing AB. You can just copy. You can understand? I'm not going to change AB. It's going to stay because you read, you copy. Is that okay? However, if I tell memory, I want to write in location number 2, I want to write FF. You know what's going to happen? What's going to happen? This is location number 2. So it's going to override this one. It's going to put FF. Override. So the last information is gone. You can understand? The same thing when you have a variable in C language. When you have a variable, and this variable is storing a certain value. For example, x is equal to 2, for example, in C language. And then after that, I said x is equal to 7. So what is 2? 2 is gone, right? Because I stored 7. This is exactly the same thing with me. What happens here, x is going to have a memory location here. This is x. What you did in C language, listen to me, what you did in C language, you said x. Okay, and the details are hidden. You don't know where is x in memory. In assembly, you will know where is x. Okay? In assembly, you know x is stored in location number 1000, for example. So physically, x is here. X has a physical location 1000. You know what I'm saying? So if you write to 1000, read to 1000, this is x. Every variable used in C language has a physical location, which is a memory location. Is that clear, guys? That's why if you read, you are gonna copy. You are not gonna destroy this value. However, when you write, you are gonna overwrite. Okay. Any question, guys? Sorry, I know this lecture is somehow long, but again, I need to finish certain part so that I want to start with the labs on Thursday. Okay. And I think it's easy. Most of it just revisions. Anyway, I'm not going to teach in labs, so maybe in very few words labs I'm going to teach, but most of the labs I'm not going to teach. Okay. Any question, guys? Here. Okay. Again, the good thing, you will see all of that in the coming lab. You will see the memory. You can go to location 7000. You see what's the byte stored there. You can go to any location to see what's stored there. Okay. Again, I want to repeat something just to remind you. When I tell you this memory location is storing FF, actually it is not storing FF. We agreed on that, right? It's actually storing binary number 11111111. Okay, but just for it's convenient to us to tell you FF. So now I wanna have some scenarios or some fun with you. Okay, now you told us memory. Number one, I told you any system needs memory. We agreed on that, right? Any system needs memory. And in this memory, I'm going to store the program. Yes, your program should be converted to ones and zeros. Okay, that's what you didn't see before. You just write the program in Java or Python in C, and the compiler is going to do everything. It was hidden from you. You didn't see how the compiler converted your program to ones and zeros. You will see in this course. So you write your code, and then you will see the ones and zeros. Is that okay? No. So, and then your program at the end, you write it in English words for sure, because it's going to be too difficult to write a program ones and zeros. So you write it in English words, and then we have a program that converts to ones and zeros. Okay, but at the end, it has to be ones and zeros, and it has to be stored in memory. This number one. Okay. Number two, your variables, your arrays, your data also should be stored in memory. For For sure, they have to be in separate location. If you overwrite, you are going to make a mess. You understand what I'm saying? So there should be some kind of memory management. This part for code, this part for data, right? If you go and write in the program part, you're going to make a mess. Okay, I know. So now, also I told you, memory has many locations. Every location is a separate unit, and this unit can store 1 byte. You can read a byte, you can write a byte. That's what we agreed on. Okay, now, but that doesn't make sense. Something is missing. Why it doesn't make sense? Okay, I'm going to tell you why. I want to store, I have data. This data can be temperature, can be pressure, motor speed, whatever data is. Okay? My data can be 1 bit. If there is alarm or not, for example, 1 bit. I mean, my data is 1 bit. My data can be 2 bits. Okay? My data can be 4 bits. My data can be a byte. My data can be 2 bytes. Okay? You understand what I'm saying, guys? Because it depends on what's your data, right? But what I'm saying, every time you read, it has to be a byte. Every time you write, it has to be a byte. Is that okay? So how can I handle this situation? I'm going to tell you how. Let's see the first case. If your data is less than a byte, 1 bit, 2 bits, whatever, okay? Number one, you have to put it in a byte. Anyway, okay? So for example, my data is 1 bit. 1 bit, for example, okay? So I'm gonna store it in a byte. I'm gonna store it in the first bit in the byte. What about the other bits? Just put zeros, put ones, I don't care. But it has to be in a byte. You got what I'm saying? So even if it's 1 bit, we'll take it a byte, and then you don't care about the other bits, store a byte. And then when you read a byte, look at this bit and ignore the others. You got what I'm saying? So let me explain. So here, again, we agreed on one thing. Every time you read or write, you have to read or write a byte, right? So when I read a byte, my data is here. So I need to check this bit. If this bit is 0 or 1, what about this one? Don't care about it. You got what I'm saying? What if you wanna, so I have to create a byte, and then I'm gonna put my data here, 1 or 0, and then I have to store the byte. So when I store it, all the time I have to store a byte. Okay. But after I read the byte, I'm gonna look at my data, 1 bit or 2 bits or something like ignore the others. Okay. Because the minimum unit, or actually the only unit we have, a byte. Is that okay? So if your data less than a byte, so you have to store it in a byte anyway. And then after you read the byte, you can look at this part and just ignore the others. You can do that. You can only look at one part and ignore others. Okay. Now, the question is, what if your data is greater than a byte? Because I told you before, if you have a byte, this is your limit. If it is if you have a byte and it is unsigned, that means your data should not be greater than 255, which is the max, your limit of a limit. Okay. So what if my data is greater than a byte? I need something greater than a byte. Okay. I'm going to measure something, and what I'm going to measure can be more than 255. In this case, it can be a word, right? So, or it can be greater than a word, but here in this course, most of the time it's going to be a byte or a word. Even a word should have also a limit. It can store from 0 to 65,535. Is that okay, guys? So now your data, in this case, if it is a byte, that's okay. I'm going to write a byte, I'm going to read a byte. That's okay, right? What if it is a word? What can I do? Look here, guys, what we're going to do. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to read or write, you have to read or write a byte. What if your data is a word? 2 bytes. So what's going to happen is you are gonna store it in 2 consecutive locations. Okay. I hope you understood what I said. Okay, consecutive locations. Okay, so that's how it is. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, your information is a word, but I have to write it twice in this location and next one. You understand what I'm saying? So for example, I have a word. This word has 1 byte and 1 byte. So I want to store it in location number 7. So it has to come, one part is going to go to 7, the other one is going to go to 8. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So that means, so here, listen to me. Oh, we'll just have 1 minute, okay? What I'm saying, that means, that's what I'm going to do later in this course. Listen, I can say, for example, I have a byte. I want to store it in location number 1000. So what's going to happen in location 1000, I'm going to, this byte, for example, 7F. I'm going to store 7F. Okay. But if I have a word 7F32, and I want to store it in location 2000, for example, listen to me, just we are done. Okay. So actually, automatically, it's going to go in 2000 and 2001, next one. But how you are going to store it? Because you have 2 bytes here. The least significant byte come first, and then the most significant byte come next. You got what I'm saying? I know this usually confuses students. Listen to me. In both cases, if it's a byte or word, in both cases, I'm going to say only one address, the beginning address. But you understand? So if I want to write a byte, I'm going to say I want to store this byte in location 1000. If I want to write a word, I'm going to say I want to store this word in location 1000 as well. But the difference is, in case of a word, automatically it's going to take 1000 and next one automatically. Okay? The last thing I want to say, read this just less than 1 second. Okay, look here, guys. So your memory actually has bytes and unstructured. Okay, if you look at it as a data, so in memory it's just bytes. Okay, unstructured. What do you mean by unstructured? It means this, for example, can be temperature. These two together can be voltage. These two together can be speed. This one can mean something. You got what I'm saying? So the logic is not in the hardware. So for the hardware, you have just a bunch of bytes. The logic in your program. What do you mean? I mean, if I want to read the temperature, I have to read only this byte. If I want to read the voltage, I have to read these two together. So these two should be together. When you read or write, you have to, because this is one value, one number. It's stored in 2 locations, but this is one value. So every time I read a voltage, I have to read 2. Every time I write, I have to write 2. Okay? So this logic, it's actually in your program, not in the hardware. The hardware just bytes. Is that clear? Anyway, that's very enough for today. I'll see you on Monday.